Yeah, I'm Ada. Welcome to another speed paint. For today's Pride Month speed paint, we're going to be doing gay. And in like the other one that I've uploaded, we're going to try and include the letter G. So a few things with the speed paint. You can see the construction. I don't use most of this. The only things I use are the top half, so like the neck and the head and the hair. The rest did not go according to plan. It wasn't in the style that I wanted, so I do kind of reconstruct a lot of this. I just want to include some of the construction process so you know what I'm going for. I do use a lot of the concepts that I create with this one. I just make it in a more geometric kind of style instead of just tracing over my sketches. I already gave my sort of like speech and like definition of what Pride means to me, but it's honestly just a month that brings awareness to a community that hasn't been represented as well, or even just demonized for just existing. So I think with Pride Month, I do appreciate how queer people get the recognition they deserve. This also goes to my next point of there's a lot of legislation that kind of demonize a lot of the community and just try and hinder our rights as people. So if there's any laws that you can change, go out there and vote. Or if you're not able to vote, share on social media. Here I'm also doing a little bit of color for the illustration. I wanted to have like colors on the other flag, but this one using the rainbow flag for gay, but it was not going the way I wanted. So when I redesign this, I go and look for a more pastel sort of color palette. This one was way too vibrant and a lot of the colors were clashing, so I try and keep the theme of rainbow while also making a more cohesive palette. One thing I'm happy about from this is creating the gauges for this character. I wanted some sort of like earring, but I didn't want it to just be some basic circle or hoop. And I just remembered that gauges were a thing and thought those would work way much better. And as you can see, I'm trying to just add some line work to the hands and everywhere, but it did not work out. In the remake of this, I do add some actual fingers, so it doesn't look too weird or just wonky. Now we have the actual construction of the character. So here I'm just doing some basic shapes so I can just construct it a little and just make sure I have what I'm envisioning for this character. I do resize the shirt so it's not too bulky, but overall it kind of stays the same size. Now I just added the v-neck for my button up, and now I'm just constructing the pants. This one was sort of easy. I wanted something where it was sitting on the edge of the G, while also kind of like covering the right side of it. The shoes were also easy. They were just like a basic shape, but I do resize them, or I do resize the character later on, so don't worry about how big that is. Now I'm just making the hand and the arm for the left side. For some reason, it wasn't going to the edge of the shirt, so I had to go in and edit that, but overall, it's pretty fun. I also had to create a special shape for the shirt because for some reason it was not working out, but it's fine. Now I'm just constructing the arm. It's a weird shape, but it's just my style. But overall, I liked constructing the hand because it was just very interesting to include. Interesting to sort of create. A lot of this I created out of just freehanding, which usually I don't do, but in this case, I just wanted something that would make more sense. And with the color palette I used, I made that flag, and then just edited the actual like shape so it makes more sense. I also edited the hand shape, so now it actually looks like a hand, and then you can see the fingers and stuff. There isn't an orange, but I think it kind of works, because without it, I think a lot of the colors would just be really, really busy. Constructing the left hand was a little weird, because I didn't want it to be too detailed. I wanted it to be some sort of like abstract shape. I didn't do that much to it. The only thing I did was add a thumb in the background so you can tell what it is, and then edit some of the fingers later on. And now I'm creating my button up. The blend tool, I didn't really like how many I did, and I didn't want to go and edit it, so I just subtracted a few and start making the collar. This, I think, was the only brush stroke that I actually used. But I thought it was pretty fun to have some sort of like free form wave compared to the rest of it. And now I just add cuffs. Sure, I add a pattern because with the other illustration they use some sort of pattern, so I just wanted to keep that in the loop. I resize it and create a clipping mask so it actually fits in. And because the color wasn't like showing up well, I darkened the color, and I think that helped a lot to bring more dimension. And then with the shoelace, I just make that a dark color where you can see, and also just tie in some more blue. I'm gonna add some stitch detail on the shorts on both sides. I'm done with the actual character. Now I'm just creating some flowers. With the other one they had plant life, so I just wanted to include some. So once I put in the G, I placed these. I just had these created so I can actually remember what I was doing. I used sort of the same tulip that I had before, and then I just added some sort of just something that came up in my mind and added them later on. The creation for all these were really fun, and I just love the style of just being more expressive and just doing whatever I want with it. I'm just trying to transform it, find the right sort of letters so I can move the character. Once I resize it, it gets a little difficult to resize. But after, I just edit the shape just to make sure I get what I've wanted. Now I copy that on a separate layer so I can make sure everything is the way I want, and just try and get the character to how I wanted it. I just resize the G, making sure that the bottom is fine and then the top isn't too much in the way of the actual character's head. Then I add a gradient for the G. Like in the other one, I added a gradient of the actual pride flag, so it just ties in with the character design. This one I really liked with the character. It just looked fun and very expressive, and I pretty much enjoyed it. I'm just adding shadow with the character, so there's more dimension. And just try and have some fun with how the shading is. Here I'm adding the flowers, just trying to edit them, place them in where I want, and just create some more like plant life behind them, such as like some leaves, bushes, anything that I could think of. During this process, it was sort of hard to find some colors that matched, but I go into what Illustrator had and just got some nature colors and just put those in some squares so I can edit and see if they work together. If anyone wants to know my process, just please let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to just adding some swirl details to the leaves, just to make sure they're not just some weird random blobs. I thought this would be a nice sort of detail to make them more artistic instead of just some sort of bland item. And we're done with the second speed paint for Pride Month. I really enjoyed this creative process and just creating another work of art that I'm passionate about. Hope you all enjoy your last few weeks of Pride Month, and hope you all have a good day. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and good day, and bye.